أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We will discuss the different step of conflict, how conflict start. Conflict is not bad. Conflict does not mean that it is that only just the violent or something. It is the difference of opinion also. So we discuss something at home. It is in the family about a family matter, or we bring something to police, or we bring something to the court. So there is the person. If suppose we are discussing it at home, so we reach a consensus. When we reach the consensus, so that consensus we further then implement also, and that is a sign of good conflict that we all agreed, and it was sort of difference of opinion, but we reach. Yes, there was give and take in the discussion, but we reach to a conclusion and that we implement it. So that is good conflict. The same is in court also. Suppose the judge listened to the both parties and then he reached to the his own sort of way how is legally this case can be resolved. Then the second one is the conflict which is violent. How it become violent? The most problem which is the two individual or the two other groups are discussing it. That is when the arguments finish with the parties, so they become personal. And when you become personal, then there is a chance of further instigating the conflict and it reached to even violence and many things more. So the violent conflict need containment. It should be restricted. The person should, the middleman or whoever is there, elders or the judge or the police, they should come in the middle and they stop it for further escalation. The third one is confused conflict, which is we don't know. Yesterday I gave you the example of the two children. They were fighting. One side they came and they start the children of other side, and then the other side came and he started this, and they don't know what was. So it needs clarification. It was confused. Nobody knows, but they were fighting and they just come in and they just jump in the middle. So they need clarification. Conflict or the difference of opinion can easily be resolved if we sit, if we discuss, and if we clarify the things. So all conflict can be resolved very easily. Now the if we go to the different step of the first stage is discussion. I gave you already the example that we discuss something, and in discussion we give arguments to each other to satisfy each other. You are this, your argument this, my argument this, and then they reach to the consensus. If we reach to the consensus, that's okay. If not, then we take position. I am right, you are wrong. And this right and wrong, then we segregate from each other. We sometimes even stop the communication. And the main problem in each conflict is if we stop communication, then the middleman, part stirrer, they come in the middle, especially in the third world, and they make the situation worse for their own benefit. So that indirect communication is a big issue, especially when you stop communication, because communication is a way where you can resolve any issue very easily. Then, when you go to this indirect communication, the next step is segregation. We are good, other are evils. Today, boycott to win or lose. So they boycott. We are right. You are wrong. Blaming the other side. So when this blame and this comes, so then inside also there are rumors comes. Again, I will just quote the pot stirrer or the middleman who bring in between them the rumors. This happened, this was. And the third one, then it reached to the destructive stage, direct violence or complete violence. Now, this what was it was started, how it was started. and how it reached to the peak. There are many examples in our culture also, in the Western culture also, that if a minor conflict at the initial stage, at the right time, is resolved by the right people, so it's finished. But we take it, you see, okay, it's minor in between the families also. Very minor thing, there was fight between wife and husband. Oh, no problem, this is. But they keep this thing in mind. And one most important thing is that first in English, suppose conflict transformation was not like this, which is today. It was conflict management. Suppose two people are fighting, you went in the middle, you manage it. You we call it suppose the okay, it's done, and we keep the parties away from each other, and then the thing has resolved. No, it is not. Still in the mind and heart, the problem is there. So the next step came, and it was conflict resolution. Okay, there was something between the two persons. You came in the middle, someone come in the middle man, and he said, no, okay, you take this half, and you will take this half, and it is resolved. No, again, it is not resolved because the mind and heart, still this thing are there. The third step came, it is conflict transformation. Like we had electric transformers, so they change AC electricity to DC, DC to AC. We need transformation of heart and mind both, cleanly. And how it comes, this cleaning? If you, in the mostly in the third world, suppose there is a lot of rituals, symbols. Like suppose after each reconciliation, the people in Islamic culture put hands on Quran in front of the community. That from today onward we are brothers. Then the people, especially the Jarga member or the elders who resolve this conflict, they follow them for certain time. There are different invitation from the friends and the family. You see, in the both parties, along with those elders, they go, they said they eat. You see, so that make adjust them, readjust them, reintegrate them as they were before the conflict or before the violence. If that mind and heart is not clean, there is possibility that at any stage it come again, and when it come again, so then it become again violent. So the cleanliness of mind and heart is very important in each conflict. And the best thing is, suppose if the minor thing happen, just to say sorry to other. This sorry is very common in our culture. It is very not common in our culture, but very common here. People say in the West, suppose sorry, but that doesn't mean. But in our culture, in different developing world, when they say sorry, they mean it. They say, yes, I have done wrong. This was my fault. And here is also the say sorry is in the real sense is very difficult. People don't accept it in that I should say sorry. The second thing is here in the Western culture, there is no community. So if there is no community, so the two-person problem or issue can only be resolved through mediation, one part of the restorative justice. Even there is less family group conference and circle where community come and should discuss the issue and resolve it. So the person mostly do through mediation or through personal contact and our court. The rest community is not here. While in our culture, there is community. Community elder come, they resolve the issue, and they try their best to reconcile, reintegrate those people who were enemy before, and they become friend, not only friend, brothers, not only brother, then relative, because there is a lot of then engagement and marriages in between these family. And then those they become again a peacemaker, those parties, because they have gone through this process. So they have empathetic approach to any issue in the community. Thank you very much. Next again, inshallah.